Let's cross the studio. Emma James with Media Watch coming out right now. Good evening to you. Taking a look back at how the biggest strike in France for almost 25 years has been playing out across social media.
Yes, absolutely huge disruption, especially on public transport. But it does seem that a lot of French people have been taking today's action in their stride. Now, the official figures say that 806,000 people took to the streets across the country. That's the latest figure from the Interior Ministry. That's across the whole of the country. Unions, though, of course, put the figure much higher at 1.5 million people. Looking at how French cartoonists have reflected this, well, Nar has gone with his own strike. Minimum service for the drawing of the day, he says. And this from Plantu in Le Monde. You've got Emmanuel Macron and his Prime Minister Edouard Philippe cowering beneath the desk. And the 5th of December is looking extremely explosive. So did it really boil down to being that important? Was it that dramatic? Well, it didn't bring the country to a standstill. At least not in terms of traffic, which many people had been expecting, and perhaps that's the very reason it didn't happen. This is an image from 7 a.m. in Paris today. There is no one here, haha, says this person. And when you look at the facts and figures, BFM, the French channel, has been doing just that. On average, at 8 a.m. in Paris, you would have 250 kilometres of traffic jams reported. Today, just 94, and that fell by 9:30 to just 28 kilometres of traffic jams. Almost unheard of, frankly, for a weekday at that time of day. And it does seem a lot of people sought out alternative methods of transport. This is a reimagining of the metro map because 11 lines weren't working at all, only the electric ones in business today. So some people did use those bikes that you can hire, others used scooters and the like. Many more, I think it's fair to say, chose to stay home. This person saying that once their alarm went off, this was their reaction. Rather a nice little image, which I think a lot of people may have done today, judging by the lack of traffic on the roads. However, people had plenty of time to book leave, and they do have to go back to work sometimes. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next, because we can't underestimate the scale of this strike. Trains cancelled 90% across the country, hundreds of flights cancelled, schools closed as well. And there is so much anger across a really wide range of groups, whether it's the Gilets jaunes protesters, whether it's medical staff, firefighters, students. Everyone has an axe to grind, and they are all getting involved in this protest against reforms to pension rights. And it's also worth mentioning, of course, that this could continue. We know it's going to continue till Monday, but it could go on even till Christmas or New Year. Monday is going to be the really crucial day when we find out just how much support there is, and also what the effect is once people go back to work. Because I think it's fair to assume that a lot of people took maybe today and possibly tomorrow off work. Monday will be the big test.
So we'll be waiting for that one. There have, though, Emma, once again been, violent scenes during some of these protests.
Yes, unsurprisingly, you might say, because it has become an all too familiar picture here in France. After a year of Gilets jaunes, yellow vest protests, this shows copious amounts of tear gas being used by police in Lyon, filmed by a local journalist there. Elsewhere, we've had reports of some injuries, lots of things being set fire to, and vandalism too. In Paris, 6,000 extra troops have been brought in, extra police forces, I should say. Tear gas and batons being used here, lots of flares being set off too, and you can see lots of fire. It is interesting to see just how dramatic these images are. It's like something from a movie. This person saying it's the war of the stars, because you've got explosions going off, you've got all that shouting going on. It really has been quite a distressing scene in Paris, in parts of Paris tonight. This taking place Les Place de la Nation. Elsewhere in Nantes, we've also seen the Black Bloc protesters. You may have heard of those. They're basically people who have no real political agenda. They just go out to smash things up. Here they are attacking a mobile phone shop, which doesn't have a great deal to do with pension reform. But the scenes in Paris, this is Place de la Nation a little earlier this evening. A lot of very robust policing, I think it's fair to say. People inside a restaurant there watching on as these dramatic scenes play out. None of it will be helping Paris's reputation, and it certainly won't be helping businesses either in the capital city. However, some seem to be having something of a party. even playing music and dancing. This was after they were threatened by the CRS, the riot police, with use of force if they didn't clear the area. So interesting scenes in Paris, very varied.
Indeed, French protests, well, they're like none other, it seems. And they are set to continue, as you've just told us. Emma James with Media Watch, thank you very much indeed. Kate with the business, as ever, thank you. And thanks to you for watching. No strike here from Mercado, of course. We continue to bring you the news 24 hours a day. Stay with us.